Hello guys, so this is very unexpected. A long time plan, but we couldn't execute it for some reason or the other. And now we are here in the middle of our exams, trying to do something different. So वो है ना कि जो कुछ नहीं करते वो MBA करते हैं. तो it has got an update कि जो कुछ नहीं करते वो podcast करते हैं. So this is my shot doing it. And to begin with, we have our friend from my college, Shubham Saurav. So this guy is intelligent, sort to say, to begin with. So he does education videos on Udemy. He has around 5 lakh subscribers, or say the users on his channel, and bande ka 17 lakh LPA laga hai. And then we'll call him. Shubham, please come have a seat.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, bro. So we'll begin with him giving a small introduction of his life and what he is and what he wants to be.
Alright, so as he said, my name is Shubham Saurav and I am an instructor on Udemy. I have around 4,90,000 enrollments, and I also have a podcast called The Skeptic Show, which I have not been updated for 2 years now because of some reasons, some really good reasons. And and the question of who I want to be, well, that's a really good question. Who do I want to be? Someone great?
Okay, everybody wants to be someone great, but then you have to have something very specific that you want to be. So it can be where you want to see yourself as a person doing good at his job or doing something, or a person who would do job for some time and then do something that he really wanted to from like the beginning. So is there any such difference, or you just want to do well at your job and then there's nothing more to it?
Job is just a means to an end. So I'll tell you what I think about my life.
Okay.
So all of us, all these species in the world, they want to be immortal. I just want to get out of that cycle and become immortal in a very different way. So let's talk about Einstein, let's talk about Nagarjuna, the philosopher, the Buddhist philosopher, or let's talk about any other person who has done something great. So when you do something great, you get recorded in the memory of the world. People know about you, they learn about you. So if you have watched this movie called Whiplash, the person said, it's not a good example of what you should be and what you should do, but it's a decent movie. And the idea is that you do something great and then people remember you and talk about you at dinner tables.
Okay. Yeah, you would suggest me to watch that movie, but I couldn't because we had exams. So coming back to the thumbnail of the video, so a 21-year-old with a star package, what does he think about life, and how do you think everybody who's watching this show can get at 16 LPA, 20 LPA, 21 LPA as a beginner, as a fresher? See, a lot of people have a lot of questions. So when you are a student, first of all, you're worried ki what college do I choose? And then people only think that the college or the type of college you choose makes or breaks your career. So what are your thoughts on that? And then what do you think is Indian education? So these are the 3 points I would like you to start with.
Well, to answer your first questions, yes, colleges can break your career, but you can get out of it. So I'll tell you about my story. So I grew up in Bihar and I was very good in studies. So उधर क्या होता कि अगर बच्चे पढ़ने में अच्छे होते हैं, so they'll form a group with other people who are very good in studies. ये ऐसा हर जगह पे होता. In my friend circle, everyone wanted to be an IITian. One person wanted to crack NEET and become a doctor, and he is doing really well. He's 4-year resident in Bhagalpur. All the other 3 person. So out of those 3, one went to IIT Kharagpur, one went to IIT Mishra. All of them are doing really well, but there was just one person, and that was me, that was doing something very different. So from the very ground up, in class 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, all of them were focusing really, really hard on maths and science. But I fell in love with computers.
Okay.
And so because of that, my marks for math and science started going down. But my computer knowledge started going up. So the graph became like this. I had this risk because the risk was very great. They were so good in studies that there was a guarantee that if not IIT, they will at least get NIT. And that is what happened with all of them. So udhar kya hua ki now I have to make a decision. I want to do this thing, okay? But I don't want to do math and science because that is not what I love. Okay, so the element of love conquered all the fears, and I took a risk, and I decided that I'll do BCA and MCA, and I'll tell you, BCA is not very much respected.
It's not.
It's not respected.
Even in our college, so they have all these engineering branches, and we are just treated as a substitute for education. Yeah, it's understood. So people who are watching this, you are not treated as much respect as people with engineering degrees are treated. Even though you learn almost the same thing when it comes to computers, you're not treated the same way.
Yeah, and so coming back to my story, so I took a risk that I'll do what I love and I'll make sure that all the disadvantages I take care of them with my hard work and sheer fucking will. Before that, I was just doing a little bit of C and C++ in class 8. But in class 9 and 10, I started learning Android development, and then in class 10th, I learned a little bit of iOS development. I built some apps for iPhones, and then I went to just after my 10th. I just waited for 2-3 days, and then I joined Chroma Campus, a very good place to learn iOS development. I was top of the class. Finished my training, came back, and just went berserk. I was programming all day, all the time.
Oh.
There was nothing in my mind, and that was the first time I actually fell in love with programming. Because before that, it was all something I wanted to be, but I was not that person. I just wanted to be that idea, that imagination. But after I came back from Delhi, I had this fever of coding, and I became really interested in coding. So that is how you make the disadvantage disappear. You will have disadvantage if you are not in very good college, but you can turn the tables by your hard work, by your planning, and by making an honest assessment of who you are, what your skills are, and where you want to be.
So a lot of people think that if you don't have a valid degree, you cannot be anything in life. So consider yourself to not have a valid degree as a master's degree, and then you would still study the same topics, the same everything, and you have gained all the knowledge. Would you think you would be at the same situation or at the same place that you are now?
Okay, so I'll tell you a realist answer. We live in this country, and your degree really matters. So if I didn't go through the college, then I would be far better skill wise, because I think my graduation time I just wasted 3 years. Okay, so I will far better skill wise, but I will not have a job. I will never get placements because companies in this country and in most of the world, they require a degree. So if you want to get into, even if you want to apply for that job, you need to have that degree. You need to have that thing cleared up. You need to tell the company that, okay, I showed up at this college for this degree, and I attended 75% of the classes, and I was there, I passed all the exams. So that is just one way of telling the company that, okay, I can do something for 3 years straight. So you need a degree in this country, but if you have money, then maybe you can do a startup.
Yeah.
But only if you have lots of money. If you don't have lots of money, then this part will not work.
So you say degree as in your undergrad and your postgrad, or just undergrad is enough to get you to places?
If you are doing engineering, then undergrad is fine. But if you are doing BCA, then you need MCA.
Okay, that makes sense. The same reason we both are doing MCA.
Yeah.
So coming back to education system. So do you think that India can do better with education? Everybody thinks that India can do better with education. But
yeah.
What is that one major drawback that you think India, with any educational minister, should at least give one thought? Keep this is going very wrong. I mean, this is going very wrong, and if we want to improve anyway, and if you want your students to be skilled, not be a candidate of everyday work where he's not really learning, he's just going there because he has to go there,
yeah.
Not because he wants to learn. So any one major thing you would see India change?
Imagine कि आप बच्चे हो, yeah, you are in class 6 or maybe 7. बच्चे तो अब नहीं बोलेंगे क्योंकि उनके thoughts and उनके mind के process they have become very mature. But उस time में अगर आपको chemicals मिलते हैं, like to experiment, तो उधर बंदे के दिमाग में ये तो आएगा ना कि यार if I'm mixing this chemical and if I'm mixing this chemical तो ऐसा होता है. What would happen if I do this with that chemical?
आजकल तो क्या होता है bro, from the beginning, from science where you start learning science to 8th या 9th standard, you are taught what is renewable energy, what is non-renewable energy, solar का benefit क्या है, solar का disadvantage क्या है. Nobody is getting anywhere with that knowledge.
Yeah.
That could be your basic general knowledge what a student can acquire in a year. So that has been taught for 5-6 years mindlessly, and then you don't get to it. You don't get anywhere with that knowledge.
Attendance was a big issue. Because of that, I was not able to do a lot of things that I wanted to do. So if I had the option, and if the colleges were very flexible, then I would want that. कि अटेंडेंस थोड़ा सा कम रखो, बिकॉज आई नो दैट आई एम नॉट जस्ट वेस्टिंग टाइम. अगर अगर बंदा अगर जाकर के वहाँ पे बस टाइम वेस्ट कर रहा है तो इट मेक्स सेंस कि हाँ एटलीस्ट थोड़ा मोर अटेंडेंस का एक बैगेज होना चाहिए. बट इफ द पर्सन इज डेली वर्किंग हार्ड देन वहाँ पे इट वुड बी बेटर, क्योंकि मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि यार आई वेस्टेड सो मच टाइम अटेंडेंस के चक्कर में. इट्स नॉट दैट वट एवर आई एम स्टडिंग इज यूजफुल टू मी, वो सभी पुरानी चीज़ें हैं. एंड एग्जाम्स के टाइम में आई कैन डील विद द एंटायर थिंग इन 2-3 days मैक्स. तो फिर वो जो मैंने टाइम वेस्ट किया कॉलेजेस में क्लासेस अटेंड करने में, दैट इज समथिंग.
Yeah, and even for MCA, forget MCA. If you consider my college, leave my college. तो normally जब colleges होते हैं, we have programming subjects, right?
या
तो तू programming को program करने देना भाई.
यस
तू programmer को लिखाएगा क्यों?
यस
Correct. So if you are a programmer, if you want to write codes, and if you want to understand how a code works, putting that out on a paper makes no sense.
एब्सोल्युटली नॉट.
So you can find another way, or you can be more creative on how you want to mark that subject or how you want to give marks to the student. But making him write codes makes no sense, because ना कोड तेरे को दे, ना ही तेरे को पेपर बताएगा कि किधर तेरा एरर है, ना वो कंपाइल करेगा कुछ, ना कुछ करेगा. It is waste. So you can add more theory when you want to take a paper, and then you can keep the practical part to the practicals.
या अगर आपके कोडिंग क्लासेस में यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू ब्रिंग योर लैपटॉप, देन ये कोडिंग नहीं है ना, यू आर जस्ट डूइंग द पेपर जम्बो मम्बो थिंग.
Yeah. It is just your marks. If you want marks, you do this. If you want good marks, you buy out everything and you just write it on the
Yeah,
paper.
but if you buy hard everything, then you are not a good programmer.
Exactly. And that is, if you cannot see, programming is not that easy where you learn within a week or two and then you just write everything down. You at least need a month or two. You need to be familiar with things.
You need at least 6 months.
Yeah. Understood. Like for a master's, you need 6 months. But then even if you are an undergrad and you are trying to learn a new subject, it makes no sense where you have to write everything down on a paper.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was first learning programming, I just couldn't figure out what for loop was. And I couldn't do any simple star program, that pattern matching program. So ये थोड़ा टाइम लेता है. So प्रोग्रामिंग को तुम्हारे ब्रेन में वायर अप होने में इट टेक्स 6 months ऑफ प्रैक्टिस, कॉन्स्टेंट प्रैक्टिस. तो उसके बाद में व्हाट विल हैपन इज दैट नो मैटर व्हाट लैंग्वेज यू पिक ऑन, यू विल बी एबल टू लर्न दैट न्यू लैंग्वेज इन जस्ट 2 weeks और मैक्सिमम 3 weeks. बट पहले एक लैंग्वेज यू हैव टू जस्ट लर्न इट प्रॉपरली, एंड यू कैन नेवर लर्न इट प्रॉपरली इफ यू आर डूइंग इट ऑन पेपर. पेपर पे क्या यार, इट्स कोडिंग, यू हैव टू सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम.
Exactly.
पेपर पे कोडिंग नहीं होता.
नहीं होता.
पेपर पे वो सेम ओल्ड क्वेश्चंस, डू अ हेलो वर्ल्ड प्रोग्राम, डू दिस ऑड इवन प्रोग्राम, आई मीन डज नॉट
ये दिखा दो, वो दिखा दो, स्टार प्रोग्राम लिख दो, हेलो वर्ल्ड कर दो. इवन मतलब बहुत कॉलेज ओरिएंटेड हो जाएगा. सो आई विल नॉट गो इनटू इट. कंसेंट भी तो साइन कर लिया हमारे से, तो लेट्स गिव दैट आउट. यू हैव रिसीव्ड 16 lakh पैकेज. तो पहले बोलो क्या करिएगा आप इतना धनराशि का?
इन्वेस्ट करूंगा स्टॉक मार्केट में.
Okay, it makes sense since you're already investing from your 2-3 years. So if you would want to start investing, what would be your first step?
So the first step would be to create an emergency fund, क्योंकि you don't know what will happen wrong in the future. Life is very unpredictable. आप कल बीमार पड़ जाते हो, मे बी यू गेट फायर फ्रॉम योर जॉब, और आजकल तो ये बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है. सो फर्स्ट क्रिएट द इमरजेंसी फंड. उसमें जो सभी लोग बोलते हैं 6 month के एक्सपेंसेस, इफ़ यू आर जस्ट 1%, इफ़ यू आर 2%, देन 12 month के एक्सपेंसेस. तो बस वही करने का सबसे पहले. मनी इज़ मोर अबाउट डिसिप्लिन.
Yeah, it is.
Even if you are getting just say 1K for your pocket money, spend 900 rupees and save 100 rupees. But it's not about the amount, it's about your discipline.
Correct.
With money.
Is getting a job really important, or do you think being skilled is very important and job is just a byproduct of being skilled?
If you are skilled, you will get the job.
Exactly.
Because the problem with our country is that education system is not really good, and because of that, if you want to be skilled, you have to do it outside the college. Okay, and a lot of people can't manage that. I had the advantage of doing everything from the very beginning, so I was coding from very early on, so I had that advantage. But if I were to start coding in my graduation, then I would not be so good. So the thing is that becoming skilled is much more important, and if you are skilled, you will get the job, because a lot of the people are not skilled who are in the college.
Let's talk about something interesting. Interesting as in the sense, so do you want to enter into politics?
Yeah, sure, why not? But political philosophy. or maybe some social issues. That will be fine. But I will not name any party though.
नहीं, you don't have to name any party because फिर right left हो जाएगा, ऊपर नीचे हो जाएगा. I don't want it to happen.
Absolutely.
So, considering today's political scenario in India,
Yep.
do you? I don't want you to be specific or I don't want you to give details. बस बोल दे कि do you think everything going on in the country is right?
It's not too bad. It's not too good.
Okay.
But economically, we are gonna boom.
We are going to.
Yeah, and we are actually doing pretty good as far as economy is concerned. But we are gonna do much better. So if you are someone like me who's who is thinking about, let's say, moving out of country, you will find lots of good opportunities here because the businesses are really going to boom.
Okay. But then everybody who says that economy is booming has a backlog or say a back marker which makes them stop at taxes. And taxes in India are crazy. Even it's crazy, I'll tell you, because you have to pay tax on the money you make and on the money you spend and on the money you save.
Yep.
So I just don't see how people who are salaried can make a good living in India, because who are business professionals, they can show as expenses and they have 101 things to show about in their taxes and they can save a lot.
Yep.
The problem is only with salaried persons, and the majority in India is salaried.
Yeah, that is a problem. It's a big problem because in Europe, you will pay more taxes, but then you will get lots of benefit. Their schooling system is top notch, their healthcare system is top notch, but you would not want to visit any government hospital in this country.
You would not, and if you are anywhere above poverty line, you wouldn't even think of entering.
So you are
government
paying
hospital.
the taxes of a first world country while you are getting the services of a third world country. So that is a problem, but things will improve because it does not matter which party is in power.
Yeah.
The things that will improve, it will improve it because a lot of things depend on the economy.
And also, for India to improve, it majorly depends on people living there.
Yeah.
It is not about what party you choose, it's about how stricter you can be with the party, or how strongly you can put your points. And it has also a major part to do with the media. And the media in India, I wouldn't comment. Neither would you want to comment.
Absolutely.
So
not.
it is understood by everybody. It's like the picture is laid out, but then no one wants to do anything about it.
So I'll tell you something very crazy, which I think when we think of media, we think about media being neutral. But I don't think that is the way. No person can ever be neutral.
Correct.
Only the dead people, they are neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can be objective, you can put your ideology on the front, but you at least should be objective. So what I see the problem with media in the country is that most of them are not objective, and there is nothing wrong in being left wing or right wing. But when you are a news channel, you should try to be objective. That is not the case, and this is not just the case with the mainstream media. But this is also the case with all the YouTubers who are so-called neutral. Because there is no such thing as neutral. You can never be neutral.
You have your biases, but then I understand. They call themselves neutral, but then you cannot be neutral because
you are a human being.
Kitna bhi socho na bhai, you will favor somebody.
Absolutely.
And then it will show in your words or thoughts.
And there is nothing wrong with it.
It's not wrong.
Politics में ना तुम एक साइड को फेवर करोगे ही, and it is wrong to demonize the other party.
Correct. वो वही होता ना, if you like Ronaldo, just don't hate Messi.
Absolutely.
They are equally good. भाई तेरे को
But I don't like football.
नहीं. What do you like?
I don't know. I think I lost that child in me जो cricket. मैं cricket पहले बहुत देखता था.
So what do mature people do if you have lost your child?
I don't know. Read. I like reading books.
Okay.
मेरे को काफ्का पसंद है, अल्बर्ट कैमू पसंद है, दोस्तोयेव्स्की बहुत अच्छा है, तो वो करता हूँ. कभी कॉफी बनाता हूँ, कभी कुक कर लेता, कभी अकेले घूमने निकल जाता.
बंदी विंदी है मतलब कट. Okay, so since you don't want to tell me what I wanted to know, we will change the topic. शादी in today's world.
Okay.
is very subjective. I'll tell you. पहले कैसे था? you 26, 27.
Okay.
मैं बोला चलो शादी करते हैं because people used to get settled
Yeah.
in 26, 27. Now it is not the case because भाई 24, 23 तक तो तू पढ़ाई करता रहता है. So you need 2-3 years to come out of your student debt. इंडिया में तो होता नहीं है. It's either you have rich parents or you are getting a scholarship.
Yeah.
तो the middle जो बीच में वाले लोग होते हैं वो बहुत कम है इंडिया में. So you're either one of the two. Correct है ना? You beg to differ?
No.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it's correct. So after that, people who are मतलब from थोड़ा understandable families usually work harder and then it is visible.
Yeah.
It is very visible क्योंकि they have a responsibility to take care or they have somebody to cater to when they get done with. The students who are well-to-do, they try to either move away from studies and then do what they wanted to do in the beginning, or ये तो माँ बाप का फैमिली बिजनेस होता है या very rare scenarios get into a job which they don't want to do. एक तो भाई शादी के लिए मतलब बेटा कुछ कर रहा है या बेटी कुछ कर रही है एंड बेटी कुछ कर रही है उस पे वो फेमिनिस्ट वाला टॉपिक आ जाएगा, सो विल कम ऑन दैट लेटर. तो ऐसे ही होता है मतलब बिगिनिंग में ऐसे ही होता है. तो सिंस यू डन योर एजुकेशन 2-3 साल जॉब कर लिया तो देन यू थिंक अबाउट गेटिंग मैरिड एंड देन दैट इज 28, 29 and then people or doctors, I watched a few podcasts, so they say ki the best years to get married is 25.
Yes. I want to say.
And then you give a year or two to understand what you really need from life and then you can plan your children whatever. So see, we talking about it being 22 years old might seem a big deal, but then it's not far. It's 2-3 years down the line.
Yeah, I mean, marriage is a very important part of your life.
Yeah, and
at all you are going to get married.
हाँ, तो if you were 16, 17 and talking about it, it would be very childish.
Cringe.
Yeah,
It would be
cringe and
cringe.
childish. पहले तो childish होता, cringe तो बहुत होता क्योंकि audience भी वो होता. तो now thinking about it, you get a good package and then you can really think about what you want in life. So since you have a good package, what are your plans?
Okay, so first of all, my core philosophy is that do whatever you want. Okay,
but then भाई बंदी होगी तो do whatever you want will go out of the box.
I'm talking about, yeah, I mean both the people should agree अगर शादी कर रहे हो तो absolutely. But what I'm talking about is कि अगर as far as marriage is concerned, सबसे पहले अगर if you want to get if the both person अगर उनको लेट शादी करनी है after 30 then उनकी choice है, मैं क्या करूँ उसमें.
मैं तेरा पूछा ना.
But I am of the opinion that you should get married as early as possible because get married while you still have that child in you.
You said your child is gone. So
this is so बच्चा वो निकल गया ना as far as sports is concerned. But I mean जब तक तुम still थोड़े young हो ना तभी तक, क्योंकि because what will happen is that you will make lots of mistake and then you will learn from each other. दोनों का compatibility थोड़ा सा एक same level पे आएगा तो that is much better because see if you are going to be with that person hopefully for the next 50 or 60 years then थोड़े में mistakes करना सीखो, थोड़ा adjust करना सीखो, that is more important. And when you get old then उसके बाद it becomes
so you suggest get early.
I mean if you can.
Okay.
If you can. So I think 25, 28
can
is,
you? So if you can wala question answers yes for you or no for you?
I can.
You can. So
Yeah,
you want
I
to
have
get
done
married.
everything
You
that was expected of me.
Want to get married in 26, 25 or 28?
Yeah, in 2, 3, 4 years max.
So
Probably.
that is around 26.
If at all I'm going to get married.
If at all. So you fancy being alone?
I mean I like being alone, but if I am able to find a person जहाँ से मेरा compatibility बहुत अच्छा है, then I'll get married. Otherwise I will not.
Your parents are okay with your choice of being alone?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Understand.
So the job is to find someone I'm compatible with.
That you will find, or else your parents will find for you.
Let's see.
That is the usual of how India works. You don't find it, your parents will find for you, and then you will have to get married to them.
Let's see.
Okay, that's your call. I'm not talking anything about this. Okay, so we've been speaking for quite a long, and then is there anything you would want to say that I have not asked? Or is there anything that you want me to answer? If there's anything at all.
I mean, I could start with a lot of things, but what are your thoughts on modern day Instagram शायरी? Because I'm very much interested in poetry, so
Instagram शायरी. So me as a person, if you scroll through my feed, you won't find shairis.
so you're not into it. So
Yeah, I am not.
does not make sense to
exactly.
ask you this question.
Exactly. You will find cars. You will find Andrew Tate for some reason.
Why?
No, for a very obvious reason. So he keeps his points very strongly. That is what I like. वो feminism, वो सब, that is secondary.
I mean, he keeps his point very firmly. True.
Very firmly, and then he has the a structure or say a position where he can say those things, because he's not governed by any media, he's not governed by any publication houses. He has the will to say, and he is rich.
Yeah, riches.
Yeah, so makes sense
Yeah.
to even consider of what he is saying.
I mean, a lot of the things that he's saying is not wrong per se, but I think that the person is horrible to say the least.
Yeah, the way he makes his money is horrible, most probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So everybody, in today's world wants to get rich.
Yeah.
Okay, you ask anyone plus or minus 2 years of our age, भाई तुझे क्या चाहिए? तू बोलेगा मुझे अमीर बनना चाहिए. Correct? इतना तो clear है. सबके दिमाग में यही चाहिए, bro.
Yeah.
So okay, I said people want to get rich. That is a no-brainer. But people, if you ask them, how do you see yourself, getting rich, or do you have a plan of how do you see yourself getting rich? You, out of 10 people, 9 of them will have no answer. They'll say, भाई अमीर तो बनना है, मैं बनूंगा अमीर, पर पता नहीं कैसे. And see, if you are 15, 16 and you're speaking all this, it is understandable, because you don't have clarity, that much clarity in your life. A lot of people get clarity there, but then majority don't get there.
Yeah.
So let's speak about majority. People don't want to explore. They'll just look at 5-6 Andrew Tate reels. मैं को include नहीं कर रहा. So they'll just look at 5-6 Andrew Tate reels. 2-3 वो जो रोगन के पॉडकास्ट देख लेंगे कि भाई अमीर बनो, ये करो, वो करो. End of the day, it's just a video on your phone. You close your screen, you go to sleep. There is no action taken. So as long as there is no action taken, you're not getting anywhere in life.
See, Andrew is a very smart person. या फिर जो भी बंदे ऑनलाइन आकर के जो भी बंदे ऑनलाइन आकर के बोल रहे हैं, they're very smart person. वो एक specific audience को target कर रहे हैं, and I think they are just exploiting those people. क्योंकि see, उधर के जो realities हैं and the things that he has done, absolutely you don't want to do these things. क्योंकि वो they are horrible things. It's like saying ना कि let's say there is a terrorist, ठीक है? वो बंदा आकर के बोलता है कि take care of your parents. तो अब इसका मतलब ये तो नहीं कि बंदा अच्छा हो गया.
Correct.
I mean even wrong clocks जो clock पहले से बंद पड़ा है, it gets to be right 2 times in a day.
I've seen myself where I see 100 motivational videos one day and then I'm not motivated at all. And then there are days where you don't watch anything. It's just that will to get better, and then you have a very productive day.
I mean, motivational videos, they are most likely a scam, because if the person is watching a motivational video, तो वो 2-3 मिनट के लिए वो किक आएगा, maybe for a day, maybe for 1 week.
Correct.
But फिर वो wear off हो जाएगा. Motivation is a thing, कभी कभी चाहिए होता, but most of the time you need discipline. There is no substitute for that.
अरे वो बहुत सारे movies भी होते हैं where you know that you have to go through a very bad thing or very bad past. You have to have a horrible upbringing so that you have that trauma that motivates you. It's not trauma, it's actually something that is pushing you so that you don't have to go through all that again.
Yeah, I mean negative emotions, as far as motivation is concerned, negative emotions, they do far better than positive emotions.
Exactly.
But the thing is that ki negative emotions are destructive. I mean, if you are doing something out of hatred, then it's not going to get you any far.
There are so highly capable people that I've met, but then they just say कि I want to do this, I want to do that, and you meet them after a month for lunch or whatever, and then they're still at the same point. कुछ तो progress दिखाओ ना भाई कि see, if you wanted to do something and then you say you are on the path, you've not reached there, but at least you've 20% gone there. So then it makes me understand that you're not just words in the air, but you're actually working on it. So that is what is majorly lacking in the age group of ours, and then I would consider myself doing the same, because there are days where you don't want to do anything, but there should be days in your week where you do something. If you have that balance, then you don't need to be a great guy, you don't need to be so disciplined that you be working 5 hours a day, you be self-developing every time. There are days, it is psychology, it's how we are built.
I mean,
So
you
you
can
need to
never be-
accept that, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can never be 100% all the time.
Exactly.
Some days will be bad, some days will be good. That is life. But the only thing that everyone can do is hold themselves accountable. Just think about your future self as someone कि यार उस बंदे की मैं परेशानी थोड़ा कम कर दूँ. So थोड़ी परेशानी आज ले लो और कल की परेशानी खत्म करो. That is how I think about these things.
Great. So I think we have spoken for quite a long, and then I wouldn't tell what time we are speaking because गलत हो जाएगा. So thank you very much for taking out time. In between our exams, we know we have 3 more exams to go. But thank you so much for taking out time, coming here, and being a guest to my show, my first podcast actually. So thank you, bro. Thank you. It was great having you.
It was great being here. Thank you
Yes.
so much. You were a wonderful host.
Thank you. So this was it for today. I think we have spoken quite a lot, and most of it was in English because भाई का 17 लाख LP है ना, तो वो थोड़ा झाड़ेगा ही इंग्लिश.
अबे मैं हिंदी में ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबल हूँ.
तो समझ लेना था आपको. नहीं, बंदा बहुत सही है, तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ बस. If you watched till here, wow, thank you so much, and please stay tuned. A lot more informative, interesting videos will be coming up, and I'll
And
see.
don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends and subscribe.
Thank you.
Spotify पे भी डालना.
Arey, I'll try. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next podcast for a change.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.